Full interview with Tanya DaRosa, French teacher. What is your name, your job, and your major?
So my name is Tanya DaRosa. I'm a teacher currently at White Oak Secondary School. I teach French and Spanish, and I studied at York's bilingual campus, Glendon in Toronto, and I did a double major in French and Hispanic studies.
Can you tell me what events led you to the career that you're currently working in? What events led you to choose your major?
Of course. So when I was in high school, I was a French immersion student, and I also took Spanish. And it was actually my Spanish teacher who inspired me to continue studying Spanish and to pursue a career in education. So thanks to her, I decided to apply to Teachers College, and I just followed the career path to where I am now.
Describe the day-to-day responsibilities of your job.
So there are two big parts of our job. One is planning, and then the other side is the action. So a big part of our job is planning behind the scenes, looking at curriculum documents, planning our courses, adapting lessons, creating evaluations, assessment tools, to then take all of that material into the classroom. And then action-wise, in a typical day, once all of the lesson and course planning is done, a typical day would be coming into the classroom, greeting the students, always trying to have a positive outlook and attitude in the classroom, some generic things like taking attendance, making sure that we're creating a safe learning environment, affecting the lesson. Depending on the day, the activities might be different, but that would be a typical day.
What do you think is the biggest misconception people have about your job?
I think that the biggest misconception is that although we are privileged to have a significant time off in the summer and during a lot of the main holidays like Christmas and long weekends, I think a big misconception is that we do a lot of work during the school year that makes up for all that time we have off. So although we do have those holidays, we do a lot of work after school, before school. So I think that would be the biggest misconception.
What type of people do you think are best suited to pursue your career? What qualities or qualifications would they have to have?
So when I was thinking about this question, some of the qualities that stuck out to me is patience, without a doubt. We deal with a lot of humans in a day, a lot of personalities in a day, so having patience. Being flexible. Sometimes you can walk into the classroom with a plan, but you might have to change that plan according to who you have in front of you or things that happen. Being empathetic, and also being passionate about what you're teaching, so that then goes off onto the students.
Yeah, I guess like today's fire drill probably ruined some of the plans.
Yes, that's an excellent example of having to be flexible.
Yeah.
Be honest. Do you like your job? Why or why not?
I love being a teacher. I love teaching, but sometimes there can be some challenges in the career that make it a little bit challenging, but the actual act of teaching and sharing knowledge with others is something that I love.
The three things I value most in a job are helping people, learning things, and spontaneity. Would you say that your job has these things?
Yes, 100%. So the first point you mentioned was helping people. Something as simple as smiling to a student on a day that maybe they're not feeling the greatest is a way of helping them. So helping people is definitely a part of the job. You mentioned learning things. That is also part of our job. We're building society, right? We're teaching youth to go into society, and society is always changing. So we have to make sure that we're adapting to the world that's changing around us so that we can better prepare our students to go and face new adventures. And the last point that you mentioned was spontaneity, which we mentioned already. Teaching something new, having to adapt lessons, and kind of be on your toes during the day is something that's also part of the job.
In general, what are your biggest concerns about the job market in the future?
So one of the biggest concerns that I have for the future is that there will be a lack of trades individuals to be able to fulfill a lot of the basic needs that we need, like people to construct our homes, to install electricity, to fix our plumbing, to fix our cars. I think that there are fewer and fewer youth that are going into that field, and there is already a shortage. So I'm a little nervous to see what happens in the future to that regard. And I'm also curious to see how advancements in technology change the work field, because it's already changed the teaching field so much just from when I was a student in high school thinking now. I'm curious to see how technology is going to change the workforce in 5 years and 10 years and further.
Finally, what tips would you give to young people who have trouble deciding what career they want to pursue or what major they want to be in?
So I would encourage students to take volunteer opportunities to discover different fields. Sometimes it can be hard to become familiar with different fields or careers that aren't a cookie cutter career that you're aware of when you're young. For example, a veterinarian, a teacher, a police officer. There's a world of career opportunities out there, and we just have to discover them. So volunteering in different areas. Also, another point that I wrote for this question was doing some researching different career paths in different schools, whether it's the college route, the university route, and not being afraid to take different courses to discover your likes and your dislikes.